Come on in, y'all. Join me today as I walk y'all through my Easter meal. I'll show y'all just how easy yet delicious a tender pork loin is to make, smothered cabbage is to make, baked sweet potatoes. We have the deviled eggs, the field peas, and we most definitely can't forget about this crackling cornbread. Yes, crackling cornbread. I'll show you guys how to put it all together. Let's get into it. Take off. Now we start working on our deviled eggs. I'm going to bring my eggs to a boil, get those cooked. And the ingredients that I'll be using in my eggs, some Dijon mustard, some mayo, some sweet relish, and some of my all-purpose seasoning. And I'm going to show you how to put it together once my eggs are done. Okay, now once you have your eggs cooked, I already pre-cut some. Just want to show you how I cut mine. Just want to take your knife and go down and slice it in half. And you can just pop it out. If you need a little extra help, use a spoon to help get it all out. So again, just take it and cut it in half and just pop the yolk out. Now these are our yolks. Have some mayo. Use whatever your favorite is. Do a little bit at a time and adjust as needed. Also with the pickle relish, add in a little bit at a time. Going in with my all-purpose seasoning. You don't have mine, just use some salt, pepper, or whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is. And you want to go ahead and get everything mixed to combine. Break up that yolk. I'm also going to add in some Dijon mustard. A little bit at a time, and then you'll taste and adjust your flavors as needed. I'm doing a dozen of these eggs, so you might not need as much mayo or sweet relish that I'm using, because that's going to be depending on the amount of eggs you have. And as you can see, that's still dry, so you want to go in with some more of your mayo. You're going to add in a touch more pickle relish, and then go ahead and mix this up until it gets to your consistency that you like. And taste this to make sure the flavors are how you like it. This is the consistency I like mine. If you like yours a little bit more loose, add more mayo. Super simple recipe. This is just a traditional deviled egg recipe. I do have one with shrimp and crab on my channel, and I'll leave a link below for that recipe if you're looking for something a little bit different. I just want to go with a traditional one this time. And all I'm doing is just scooping my egg mixture and using another spoon to help put it down inside the egg until each one is nice and full. I'll be adding in a little bit of my all-purpose seasonings across the top. I have a link below if you want to purchase this. It'll be down in the description box. And also, I'm going to add some parsley. You can use chives if you have that available. And here it is, y'all. Easy, simple, yet delicious deviled eggs. As far as our field peas, y'all, this is the bag I'm using. It's 28 ounces. I have 2 smoked turkey tails in here, and an onion dice and a bay leaf. This recipe is super simple. All we're gonna do is let our turkey tails boil so it can release all its flavor. And we're gonna let it boil for about an hour and a half. Now, if you're using like a ham hock, I will let that cook for about 2.5 hours, because the field peas take no time at all to cook. So you want to make sure your meat is already nice and tender before you add in your field peas. So again, we're going to let this come up to a boil, reduce the heat to a simmer, make sure it's nice and tender, and then we'll add in our beans. All right, y'all, so what I did was I went on ahead and let my turkey tails cook for 2 hours. You want to make sure your peas are still frozen. Go ahead and add those. Gonna add in a teaspoon of garlic. Gonna get us a mix. And like I said, these don't take long at all to get tender and done. So I'll be back to show y'all the perfect time to season these up. And now after about 20 minutes of cooking, this is what it's looking like, y'all. They're almost tender and done, but not quite. Now it's the time you want to go in and come in and season. And I'm using some of my all-purpose seasoning. And also, y'all know I gotta use my Tony's. And if you don't have my all-purpose seasoning, use whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is. And remember, I always have a link to my seasonings down in the description box below. Now at this point, you just want to continue to let this cook until your beans are done and nice and tender. And remember, it only takes maybe around 35 minutes. And here are the field peas, y'all. The peas are nice and tender. Our meat got nice and tender also. And look at that. Now at this point, you can go ahead and remove the bay leaves that we added. And also taste this and adjust your seasonings. Field peas are nice and done and ready. Let's get started on our pork tenderloin. This is a nice substitute if you didn't want to cook a ham. I'll show you how to make this really delicious, juicy, and flavorful. I have some oil over here, some extra virgin oil. I'll be using my all-purpose seasoning, the no salt. Gonna add some of that in. You know I gotta go in with that Tony's. Gonna add some of the Tony's in. And these tenderloins, they're really affordable also. And they normally come with 2 in a pack. And I think I might have paid like $6 for these 2. Also going in with some chili powder. We're gonna get this a mix. Get everything nice incorporated. And all we're gonna do now is we're just gonna spread this over our meat. Get everything nice and covered. You wanna flip this over and get the other side as well. Our tenderloin is nice and seasoned. Now at this point, you wanna go ahead and sear off your meat. You wanna hit that sizzle. And you wanna get this nice and brown on each side. I'm gonna do one at a time, so my temperature doesn't drop too much in my pan, because I want to keep this nice and hot. Be sure to pat it down. Make sure everything is covering the bottom of that surface. And go ahead and flip that on over. I like to stand it up on the side. You might have to hold it there for a moment, and it'll eventually stay. And once it's nice and brown on each side, you want to go ahead and remove this. And here are my tenderloins. I do have these wrapped individual, because one may be done before the other one, so you don't want to put those together. I'm going to go in with some Italian seasoning, sprinkle over the top of each one. I'm going to go in with some parsley flakes, sprinkle that across the top of each one also. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take the butter and lay it across the top. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees, because this is a very lean cut of meat, so that high cooking time will help it not to dry out. So 400 degrees, about 15 to 25 minutes. And whenever you're coming in to check that temperature, you want to do it at the thickest part of the pork tenderloin. So I'm going to get this wrapped up, put in my oven for 15 minutes, and I'm going to check my temperature, and I'll show you guys what it's looking like. I almost forgot my garlic, y'all. How y'all let me forget the garlic? Go in with you some garlic across the top, because this is a herb garlic pork tenderloin. I almost forgot. It's been 15 minutes, y'all. Coming in to check at the thickest part. And it's reading at 114. So I'm going to place this back in the oven until it reaches 145. But it's looking delicious. And these are our pork tenderloins. Let's see what this thermometer, 155. That's perfect for me. Look at that. That looks delicious. This is the other one that we have. And y'all remember to keep those juices. We're going to pour that into a different container. And you also want to let this meat rest for about 5 minutes before you slice off into it. Roasted sweet potatoes is what's up next. I've already done a few off camera. I just want to come in and show you how I like to do mine. You want to take a fork or a knife. Be very careful and not hit your hand. Just go around it and pierce your potato. I've already washed these off. You want to pat them dry. And then take your fork or knife and just go around it. Then you want to get your aluminum foil and just wrap it in the aluminum foil. Nice and tight. And I'm going to bake my sweet potatoes off in a 400-degree oven until they're fork tender. And here are our sweet potatoes. I just pulled these out the oven. Mine cooked for about 1.5 hours. So your cooking time is going to depend on the size of your sweet potatoes. And once that fork is able to pierce through that nicely, that is done. And I'll show y'all how I like to dress my sweet potato up. And let's keep it moving, y'all, and make this smothered cabbage. I have my cabbage here already washed and chopped. This is how I cut my cabbage. Sometimes I like it thin, sometimes I like it thick. I was in the mood today to do it thin. I have my sausage, peppers and onions, some garlic, butter, a half a cup of water, and a chicken bouillon. Let's first start by gonna brown off our sausage. And that's how I have my cut. Feel free to slice and dice yours however you like. You can go ahead and remove the sausage once it gets nice and brown. Gonna go in with our butter, peppers and onions. Add in that garlic. Gonna get us a slight mix. Add in my cabbage. Gotta add in my half a cup of water, my chicken bouillon. Push that down. That's gonna dissolve down. Gonna go in with my no salt, all-purpose seasoning. And also that tongueless. Now I'm just gonna place my lid on this and come back in 5 minutes and get us a stir. It's been 5 minutes, y'all. Just come in and get us a mix. Look at that. Cabbage shrinks down a lot. Once that's good and mixed, you wanna go ahead and put this lid back on and just cook your cabbage until it's nice and tender to your liking. And once that cabbage is cooked down to your liking, add back in that sausage. Go ahead and mix it all in. And this here is our cabbage, y'all. You want to go ahead and taste this. Check for your seasonings. Need to add anything, go ahead and do so. Look how delicious. Now let's get started on this amazing crackling cornbread. We're going to go ahead and put some oil in our pan so they can be preheating while we mix up our cornbread. That's about the amount of oil that we're using. I already have my flour and my meal in here. On the meal, I use 1.5 cups of meal and 3/4 cups of flour. We're gonna whisk that together. Go ahead and combine that. Add in 1/3 cup of sugar. Get that nice and combined. Go ahead and add in them eggs. That was 2 eggs. Gonna add in this milk. Adding your milk slowly and give everything a mix. You wanna make sure everything comes together. Y'all heard that oven? That means it's ready. Adding in a touch more milk. Now this here is just a basic cornbread recipe. To kick it up a notch, we're gonna be adding in these pork cracklins. Now don't get this confused with pork skins or pork rinds. These are pork cracklins. And I normally find these in the meat section of my grocery store. And they are not hard. I'll open it up and show you guys. This here is our cornbread batter. That is ready. That's how it's looking. And that there is the crackling. It's soft. That's the kind of crackling that you want to get in, like I said. I find these in the meat department of my grocery. And this here is a 6-ounce bag. And y'all already know I'm going in with the whole bag. Now, how much you want to use, that's up to you. But I like it. And I like it loaded. Now, once you get the cracklings in, go ahead and mix those in. Now, once you get those cracklings mixed in, that's going to be the consistency of your batter. Just like that. And that's it, you guys. Simple, easy, crackling cornbread. Now, over here in your hot skillet, you want to go ahead and get that in that hot skillet. Take your spoon and put some oil across the top. That helps develop that crust all over the top part of your cornbread. Now we're going to place this in the oven, 350 degrees, 30 minutes, y'all. And here it is, y'all, fresh out the oven. I can't even, look, I can't even talk right. That's that crackling cornbread. All you need to do is put your little butter on the top, if that's what you like. Y'all know I'm finna slice into this thing. And here it is, y'all. Yes, yes. I don't know where to start. Let's start with the sweet potatoes. This is how I like to finish mine. I put some cinnamon brown sugar and some butter. I do like nuts on it as well. But however you want to dress yours up, then by all means do so. We have the deviled eggs. Of course, the field peas. The cabbage. Most definitely that crackling cornbread. Y'all see the crackling pieces? It's all up through there. Yes. Y'all better make you some today. Y'all saw how easy that was for me to make. You can do it. And of course, we can't forget about this pork loin. Remember I told y'all to reserve those juices? Because what you want to do is, yes, take them juices, spread it over that there meat. Just like so. That's going to help that meat stay moist as well. And whenever I'm cooking like this for the holidays, lots of food, I like to go ahead and prep all of my vegetables that I'll be using either early that morning or the day before. It makes it a whole lot easier to get everything did. You want to start what you can early and go ahead and knock that out. And also, whenever I turn that oven on, y'all know it get hot when that oven turn on. So everything that I have to do in that oven, when that oven is off, is off. Give y'all one more look over. I want to thank y'all for joining me today and following along with me as I cook this Easter meal. I hope y'all give these recipes a try. Be sure to thumbs up the video. Be sure to leave your girl a comment. Subscribe for all of this deliciousness. And y'all know the vibe. Be blessed.